Hey, what's up everybody? And if you've been wanting some more info for the long-awaited Starfield, well, I got your back today. We got some new details today, including a big Starfield update, ironically, after some of its latest discourse online. It's actually crazy how the game community has been reacting over Starfield. Then also the upcoming Mario Wonder might have a small problem. Now, the game still looks great and everything. That hasn't changed, but yeah, we get all of that in today's news dose. To get things started off, though, the Final Fantasy XVI producer reportedly made a bewildering statement in a YouTube interview that has caused a lot of discussion online. This was translated by IGN, and according to them, Yoshida said, "Game platforms. I probably shouldn't say this, but I wish there was only one. It would be better for both the developers and the players." Now, this is quite the remark, and I mean, if this translation is indeed accurate, I could not disagree more with what he said here. Now, if he's simply suggesting that it would be easier for developers, then okay, fine, I can live with that. But that doesn't mean that it would be better for players, as he noted. The importance of competition cannot be understated. I've said this time and time again. Competition breeds excellence. And that's something that I've lived by my entire life. In order to reach your max potential with anything in life, you need to compete with equally matched competition, not lesser competition, but equal, if not better. By doing this, you end up pushing each other to heights that you never realized that you could reach, and that also applies to the game industry as well. In reality, an industry without competition could lead to both a lack of innovation and increased prices, neither of which is good for consumers. I mean, all you have to do is look back to the PlayStation 3. The PlayStation 2 was so dominant during its generation that Sony became arrogant, hence the $600 price tag for the PlayStation 3 at its launch. At that time, Sony told their loyal fan base, "Our goal for PlayStation 3 is for consumers to think to themselves, I will work more hours to buy one." Yeah, that's actually what they said, and you have to wonder, would that have ever happened if Sony had better competition back then? That is very debatable, so I'm a little bit surprised that the Final Fantasy XVI producer would say something like this, especially publicly. I mean, he was right with that first sentence there. He probably shouldn't have said it at all, but let me know what you all think about this statement. Do you think the industry would be better with only one platform? Moving on, though, and I'm thrilled to share this piece of news here, Hi-Fi Rush has now officially reached 3 million players worldwide. I mean, this game is so good. I think alongside Baldur's Gate 3, this is probably the most surprising game of the year, maybe even more just because it was launched out of nowhere. It did get that shadow launch, and it's truly a pure joy to play. The art style is stunning, it's unique with its rhythm-based combat, the story is fun, the characters are charming, and I mean, really, this is a legitimate Game of the Year contender for 2023. That's kind of the thing about this announcement, though. The fact that a game like this can launch the way it did and have all the success it had, just big congrats to Tango Gameworks and Xbox alike. I really hope that this becomes a full-fledged series for Xbox going forward, but in the meantime, more people need to play Hi-Fi Rush. While 3 million is a great achievement, I still think that it deserves so much more than that. So if you have a PC or Xbox, definitely give this game a try. It's available in Game Pass, so the barrier of entry is pretty low, and even if you don't have Game Pass, it's more than worth its asking price of $30. I would highly recommend it for that price. As an added bonus here, though, it also runs well on the Steam Deck and on the ROG Ally, so definitely go check Hi-Fi Rush out. Sticking with Xbox, though, we got a big update for Starfield, and while this first update probably really shouldn't be as big of news as it is, it ironically is because of all the discourse that we've seen online. We've talked about this, but just a few days after Pete Hines reassured fans that they know what they're doing with Starfield's marketing and its upcoming release date, well, today they just announced Starfield has officially gone gold. So there you go, there's one less quote-unquote concern that people can move on from. It's almost as if Bethesda, actually knows what they're doing. They have made some of the most successful RPGs of all time. I think they know what they're doing in terms of marketing. But let's be honest here, most of that concern, again, quote-unquote concern, was always disingenuous. It was pretty obvious, but Anyways, we're going to go and move on from that because they also announced that Xbox fans can preload Starfield tomorrow on August 17th, whereas Steam can preload it on August 30th. And I think that that's very welcome for both communities. Its download size has been revealed, and it's 126 gigabytes on Xbox, and then nearly 140 gigabytes on PC. I mean, Xbox fans are obviously hyped for Starfield, and Bethesda games are absolutely huge on PC. In fact, Starfield has been among the 5 best sellers on Steam for quite a while now, but considering its size, which is pretty massive, fans are going to be pretty happy to download it well ahead of time in preparation for its full release. We actually have more Starfield news, though, because Bethesda did a Q&A today where they answered several fan questions, and this revealed some pretty exciting new details. I mean, this game continues to sound extremely ambitious and just so massive. The fact that they're still revealing important new stuff after that 45-minute direct, which already revealed a ton, says a lot about the scope of Starfield, but let's just go over a brief summary here of what they revealed today. So Starfield will have a jail system. They do have civilizations and laws established into its world, and if you break one of those laws, you'll either have to pay a fine, go to jail, or GTA style, you can resist and be an outlaw. Now, considering there's some pretty major cities in this universe, that will be pretty cool to see it play out. For that matter, of course, interstellar travel is a big part of Starfield. You have your own ship, which you can customize, but with Starfield having its own laws and government, there will be specific items that are legal to travel with, just as it would be in real life. However, because Bethesda seems to have thought of everything, you can actually customize your ship with special modules where you can hide this illegal contraband. So there's actual smuggling in this game. Once you do enter the cities, though, you can also own your own home. You can either purchase them, or at times you might be rewarded based on a quest that you complete. That's always such a huge immersion boost when it comes to an RPG, especially if there's a lot of customization involved. Companions also play a huge role in Starfield as expected. They mentioned that there's 20 plus named characters that can join your crew, all of which have their own unique backgrounds, weaknesses, strengths, and they will play an integral part in the overarching story. I know that's one of the things fans love the most about RPGs, to really immerse themselves in a world with interesting characters, and much like the rest of Starfield, it sounds like Bethesda is going all out with this feature. Then for you players out there that likes to attempt to play RPGs with little conflict and like to talk their way through problems, there are pacifist options as well through its dialogue, and you can even use non-lethal weapons if you want. I mean, that's the thing about this game, though. Starfield just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and the choice that players have, it honestly seems endless. I mean, it's weird to think about because Starfield almost sounds like it's 5 different games in one, and that's crazy to think about. This game is honestly just massive, and it's not just an open world game from the sounds of it, but I mean, in this case, the scope is so much bigger than what we've seen in any other game to this point that it's more of an open universe game. It's like it's taking the genre to the next level. I mean, I am honestly stunned by how much content that they have continuously revealed for this game. It just feels like there's so much that they're doing here. Starfield legitimately might be one of the most ambitious games ever created, and I mean, I hope it turns out to be as good as it sounds. Bethesda has made some great games in the past. We all know this, and while I'm sure that there will be some bugs at launch, that's to be expected, just as Baldur's Gate 3 just pushed out a patch for 1,000 fixes. That happens with new games, especially when they're this big. But at the bare minimum, Starfield right now looks and sounds great on paper. Now, there's also something happening with Mario Wonder as well. I mean, this game, it looks good. I mean, it's a new style for 2D Mario games. It looks kind of crazy and zany, but one of the best things about the 2D Mario games are just how fun they are while playing with friends, and that's the thing that we unfortunately have to talk about today. So what's happening here is that Nintendo of Europe posted a tweet which says adventures are more fun with friends. Team up locally in 4-player co-op to complete courses in Super Mario Bros. Wonder arriving on the Nintendo Switch. And, you know, at first that might not sound like necessarily a big deal, but then fans started to wonder why Nintendo has only advertised local cooperative play. There's actually zero mention of online co-op play at all, and if you go to the eShop page, it further confirms this suspicion where it says, team up with up to 3 friends locally and gather around one Nintendo Switch system to experience the game-bending wonder effects together as you tackle courses as a team and help each other on your way to the goal. And you can see that they emphasize the local aspect with a little star next to it. So it's increasingly looking like Mario Wonder, in fact, will not have online cooperative play. Now, some might argue that that's not a big deal because Nintendo games are just so fun to play locally, and while I do agree that they are fun to play that way, Nintendo is really some of the best when it comes to local co-op, but not everybody is privileged enough to have people to play with them at their house. Not everybody has family members that likes games. Not everybody has people coming over to their house all the time to play games with them. A lot of people rely on that online component to play multiplayer, which unfortunately, they just won't have it with this game from what it looks like. I mean, this is 2023 that we're talking about here, not 1999, and while yes, I was a happy 90s kid, I'm also willing to admit that technology has advanced quite significantly since then. I mean, we were just talking about this the other day. Local co-op has become a bit of a niche feature of the years, but online play, that's the exact opposite. That's where most people play now. So this is just a weird decision. I mean, it's Nintendo, so I probably shouldn't be surprised at all. Nintendo has always marched to their own beat. And again, their games are still great. I love Nintendo games, you all know this. But at times, they feel a little behind modern times. I mean, it is what it is, but I hope they go back and add an online component if they really don't have it at launch, which right now looks like they won't. Now, we do have one last update to go over, and that's for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. I feel like there's been a lot of controversy surrounding this game because it's $70, and there's been a lot of reports that it was originally planned to be an expansion and not a full-on sequel. So there's been some pushback on that price tag, but they did drop some exciting news today because they confirmed zombies will be back in Modern Warfare 3. Now, this is just a tease for the time being, but this is what they said. Did someone say zombies? More information coming soon on the new Modern Warfare Zombies, the largest zombies offering to date. Now, I'm very curious to see how this is the largest zombies offering to date, but I mean, this is a huge addition to Call of Duty. I remember back with Call of Duty World at War, its zombies mode was insanely popular, and pretty much ever since then, it's been a fan favorite. So to see it come back in Modern Warfare 3, I'm sure fans will be absolutely thrilled with that. We should, however, get a big update tomorrow as Modern Warfare 3 is set for its full reveal. Let's go take a look at the poll of the day, though, where I asked you all, what confirmed Gamescom game are you most looking forward to getting an update for? And I mean, looking at the list, there's already some exciting games confirmed. Definitely looking forward to Gamescom, but it's Stalker 2 that won in the results with 45% of the total votes, and then Wukong took second place with 24%. And you know what? I can understand that. It's been a while since we've gotten a big gameplay reveal for Stalker 2, and the last time that we saw it, I mean, it looked really good. Now, the developers have had some real-life, legitimate issues, so I'm really rooting for this studio personally, and hopefully its Gamescom update will be met with more excitement. I think for me, though, Alan Wake 2 is the one that I'm most looking forward to. I love the first game, probably one of my favorite Xbox 360 games, and I'm curious to see how Alan Wake's story plays out. We really haven't seen him in gameplay yet, and we do know that they're going to show an update for his side of the story, so personally I'm excited to see that, but I mean, one way or the other, Gamescom, it's shaping up to be a pretty fun event overall. Anyways, though, that's it for this episode, but if you liked the video, don't forget to bell notification and subscribe button for more content just like this. Also, if you'd like to support the channel through Patreon, thank you for making this content possible. Peace out.